Hi everyone. Today our discussion is about agile development. Here's our today agenda. We're going to talk about what is agile and how do it work with the customer development. Last but not least, we will discuss something fun about agile roadmap to see how it reflected to your product and your business development. So you probably have been seeing this approach. So with the waterfall, as you can see here, it is a breakdown of the project activity into a linear sequence life cycle. So what does it mean? It means the process is executed step by step and one step at a time. As you can see here, the big star product here, in order to have it, you have to complete all these steps. As you can see, this looks simple, but this process could take months or year to deploy or building it. And then the customer finally can see your product in the last stage. The disadvantage for doing this approach is you're gonna have lack of customers, involvements, and long time deliver your product into the market, since it could take a while to deploy the product. So let's compare this with agile development. You technically also do the same step-by-step like waterfall. However, you are continue doing it with multiple iterations, repeating the step and breaking down your product down into multiple product releasement, as you can see here, which is not similar as waterfall, which is release the big product in the end. So why do we need the cumulative product releasement? Because we need to get the feedback and go to the next iteration quicker and still align with the customer need. Remember, you are trying to solve the customer problem. That is why Agile is important in your product development stage. Okay, let's do something fun here for everyone to easy visualize this approach. So imagine you are building the website that generate the photo based on what the user describe or is called user input. So as you can see here on the left side, the requirement for this product is a portrait of the woman outdoor. And the design outcome for the product, as you know, is a Mona Lisa. So let's use this on our waterfall and agile approach. So, okay, with the waterfall, you understand the requirement that is a portrait of a woman outdoor. Then you went through all the steps here. And let's say this is the product that you release. Remember, we just discussed earlier with the disadvantage of the waterfall. You have zero interaction with the customers and you will be unsure if it's still aligned with the customer need. So if that was a scenario, now you have to go back to the first step to redo all the steps to align with the customer need. How long it's gonna take, how much money you gonna lose, and how much effort you have lost so far for building this product. You are racing against the time because it will take a lot of time and effort to adapt changes. It can be small changes, but it also can be big changes, but it will take longer time for your product to be in the market. Remember, this is not the final Mona Lisa yet. And also market is always changing. So it's important to know when your product needs to pivot. So with the Agile approach, we're gonna use the Mona Lisa here too. You also have an idea to begin with. So with the first iteration, you release your prototype, which is the early version of your product. With the prototype, it helps us to see what is the potential target group to think about your idea, and you can improve it while it's still in the early stage to make those changes. Then for the second iteration, you can go ahead and develop a MVP, a minimum viable product, which is by definition is the minimum feature set that satisfy the customer need. That's why you see here, it is not a complete product yet. So MVP is a great way for you to test the market demand and validate assumption quickly before you investing a lot of time and resources into building something bigger. Remember, MVP does not limit you to only one releasement. The idea here is to release early and release often. So same for the iteration 3, you can go through all the steps and continue to talking to the customers and gathering the feedback. you will finally reach into release end, which is your final product, as you can see here. So let's do the summarize. Agile is the iterative and incremental approach to build entire life cycle of the product. Make sure you will do this when you build your product. Remember, from our value proposition in the previous class, you will not build a product like this. The customer will not be happy about this because they cannot test your product with that single wheel, as you can see here. It's not a completing functioning yet to test. And same for the two wheel, you cannot really do anything with it. So if you are lucky, in the end, finally you got the product that makes the customer happy with the smiley face. Remember, the customer need to have a working prototype from A to B. It's an accomplished job to be done. So you should be familiar with this customer's development process with the customer discovery, customer validation, customer creation, and scale the company. So first, you have to understand the customer need and have a functioning product to get the feedback. If not, you have to go back to the customer discovery process. Then Agile came right after you validating your hypothesis, which means you have a functioning prototype to get the feedback. So with the Agile development, you are able to deliver the value to the customers much faster and still prioritize their need with the feedback throughout the process. Again, our goal is to find an effective way to develop our business model canvas and be capable of adapting changes based on the new information that we learn from our customers. Now let's do some fun stuff here with the Agile roadmap. So there are 3 important roadmaps that I would like to introduce to everyone. You can use all these 3 for your product development in the futures. First, we will go introduce you the now, next, later roadmap. And then second one will be goal-oriented product roadmap. And last but not least, the user story mapping. So let's go over each roadmap to understand what it is and what is the use case for those. So first is the now, next, later roadmap. It is the way for you to organize your workflow of tasks that you need to do within your product development cycle. So I want everyone for now focus on this roadmap because it helps your team to focus on immediate priorities while also keep track of upcoming and future tasks. So for this roadmap, we will have 2 categories that everyone must have in the roadmap. First, which is the orange color, is the customer discovery goal. It's about what you have been doing. Think about the entire business model canvas. Who will be involved in your business, such as who is the customers, who is gonna be your partners. And second one, which is the product releasement, which is in the blue box, which is the feature you will be included in each cycle that can benefit the customers. Remember, these 2 categories that you will all need to have in now, next, later roadmap, customer discovery goal and the product releasement. So as for now, what you currently need to create for your product stage. So let's use our Mona Lisa again in this roadmap. As for now, I plan to have a prototype. Remember, it's a first sketch of your product. With the customer discovery goal is to identify the target customers, and as for the product releasement, I will prioritize the feature list is based on the customer that I have been talking to. As for next, what do you believe need to be added in the next iteration? So you can have your MVP released based on the feature list that you prioritize in the now step. So with the MVP, my customer discovery goal will be identify the potential delivery channels for my product. And as for the product releasement, it can be enhanced the customization such as more color, more face shape that the user can choose on. And last but not least will be the latest, what you like to work on in the future, but need to do a bit more customer discovery. So it can be your final product. Again, this roadmap is important to organize what you need to do. So as for now, focus on the main issue foundation. As for next, what you will anticipate it on, like a quick follow-up from now that you need to do. And ask for later, prediction what you need to do more. Next roadmap is the goal-oriented product roadmap. Same as the name of the roadmap, this is focused on identifying your specific goal and the desired outcome for your product. So let's try with example. You can guess what is this product by looking at these pictures. This is the blood glucose monitor for diabetic user. It's helping them monitoring their blood sugar to meet their glucose target and suggest their healthy recipes. Okay, now I will apply this product into our goal-oriented product roadmap. Here is the goal-oriented product roadmap that I mentioned earlier. It's more focused on your goal and the desired outcome you want to each product releasement for your next 3 quarters of your product. So please pay attention to the first quarter that in the red box. So in first quarter, my goal is to have an MVP release to help the user become aware of their eating habit. Then I listed the necessary features such as dashboard and integration with my watch or any other device, and the metric that needed to meet my goal. So the metric for this release is I want to be the top 15 diabetic app in the next 6 weeks after I launch the product. Again, this roadmap emphasizes the outcome that the product team wants to accomplish. It's different from now, next, later roadmap, which is more about prioritize the task. So make sure you have the goal for each releasement in your product releasement. Last one is a user story mapping, which outlines the experience that you expect the user to go through to complete their task while using your product. So user story mapping is more about the job to be done for your customers. The map will have 3 types of action. First is the user activities, second is step, and last but not least will be the features. So with the user activity, it pre-presents the task that user can do when using the product. And as for step, it pre-presents the specific subtasks that user will go through to complete the user activities. And last but not least is the discrete integration to complete all the steps above. Again, you should prioritize the features and break down the different release based on the customer need. Okay, that is done for the definition, but let's use an example to help you easier to visualize this roadmap. So for example, I have a patient with asthma who has a difficult of breathing. So my product will have a peak flow device that will pair with the mobile device to see the result. Again, user story mapping is just really about the user experience that you expect them to go through while using your product. So here is the full list example for everyone can reference. In this case, there were only 2 simple activity, test and record. So focus on the user activity test for now. So with the peak flow device, you only have 2 simple steps, which is the hold switch button, and the second one is inhale and blow. Then I came up with the feature needed for each step. So when you are creating the user story mapping, you can use this as example to building the journey that you expect the user gonna go through when using your product. So let's do an overview of these 3 roadmaps. As for now, next, later, it's a technique used to organize and prioritize the tasks within the product development cycle. And as for goal-oriented product roadmap, it's more about the planning strategy that focus on the specific goal within the product development cycle. And last but not least is the user story mapping, which is outline the user journey when they are using your product. But again, please focus on now, next, later, and I would like to see this roadmap in your next presentation.